just arrived back from Glasgow into Beijing earlier this morning. It's a good enough flight, good journey. A bit long because it's a four hour journey stopover in Amsterdam. Incidentally, if I was flying to Beijing now, I would fly with KLM, because British Airways service from Beijing, which is south outside the city, takes a bit longer. And also bear in mind, British Airways is cancelling all the flights from Beijing at the end of October back to the UK, which for me is crazy. It just kind of signifies exactly what the UK stands for these days. Not a lot of progressive thinking, a lot of closed off thinking, and for me that simple act sums that up for me. But crazy, cutting all of the flights off between capital cities. I arrived back early this morning and I'm now struggling through jet lag. It's actually midnight here. Hopefully you can see that in my watch. Just turned midnight. So the jet lag thing is never a fantastic experience. But I'm here at Beijing, in Beijing at midnight, and I'm walking around a little bit cloudy headed, walking around the streets feeling very safe. In fact, I'm going to walk down towards the river, the South River area in Beijing, which is actually a part of the Grand Canal. Now, in many cities around the world, it is usually advisable to stay well clear from the river fronts, the river area, because these places usually attract more unsavoury characters. But I think I'm going to walk that way and prove to you that that's not the case here in Beijing. Beijing, midnight, very safe. And I'll share pictures with you my walk down. A lot of people just walking about, cool as cucumber, male, female, young, old, no care in the world. What is interesting when you walk around Beijing at midnight is the amount of bikes and equipment that just lie around and nobody touches them. I've seen bikes lying unlocked, backpacks on the back of bikes, motorbikes, cycle bikes. It's crazy that it is so safe. People don't believe me when I tell them, but that is the case. Like you see. Got a lot of traffic here and I forgot my microphone. Usually I have a wee plug-in microphone. Anyway, I'll keep walking. I'm going to go this way towards the river. Yeah. I was wondering why there was a strong smell of paint, but they've started painting all the roads again. But yeah, this time of year they spend a lot of time repainting the road signs on the road, pavement, roads, the white markers, zebra crossings, that sort of stuff. But there's the river there. So I'm down by the riverside, but I want to talk to you about something else, pointy, talk to you about something else coming up right about now. So like I said, Beijing is very safe. I found this small park area here, and if this was in many of the other cities around the world, then there may well be homeless people or so sitting around here, but I'm sitting alone. But anyway, I went back to Glasgow to meet up with some family and friends, and I purposely didn't make many videos to share with you because I just wanted to enjoy that time away from the tech and everything. So that was the plan. Excuse me. But that said, I did meet up with Bruce, who you may have seen in previous videos back in Beijing, but Bruce is now back in Glasgow for the moment. So we went out for a walk, and the walk that we had was very interesting and actually relevant to the conversation now about walking close to the riverfronts in the city centres and avoiding them because they could be very much unsavoury. So while I share with you the walk that I had with Bruce in Glasgow, not here in Beijing, but when I was back home in Glasgow, I will share the video with you that I shot. Not all of it, but I'll share some of the video that I made when walking with Bruce, and that will help explain what Bruce was telling me about on how Glasgow, way back in the day, a long time ago, how it was structured. So we walked up the original High Street in Glasgow, which sprang up around the River Clyde near a small burn, and at the top of the hill, which I will show you in the video, was the religious part of Glasgow. Given the importance of religion back in society all these hundreds of years ago, then it was that the religious buildings were given pride of place. They were then always placed at the top of the hill. The area that I'm showing you in the video now was based on the Glasgow Cathedral, which was founded in Glasgow in around 1130 AD, built on and around a chapel which in itself was founded by a guy called St Mungo, who is the patron saint of Glasgow. Also interesting is that there is a graveyard part of this area which is called the Glasgow Necropolis, which, because of some of its striking Gothic scenery, it is used in movies and TV shows. In fact, the last Batman movie, the very dark, mysterious one, some of the scenes were actually shot in and around this area, and you will see that the Glasgow architecture is very Gotham City-like. Gotham City being the fictional city in all the Batman movies, TV shows, cartoons, comics, etc. Now, down the hill from the religious area was the university buildings. Again, scholars, like the religious people, were held in high esteem, and so they took their rightly place high up on the hill, just below the religious part. Here you can see colleges and university buildings, with many having strong links back to the famous Glasgow University, which is further to the west from the original High Street, but it is the oldest university, or one of the oldest English speaking universities in the world, and also one of the top universities in the world. So forget Stanford, MIT, Oxford, Cambridge and all that jazz. They're far too expensive. You want to study at a top university, come to Glasgow. It's a great city and the universities are fantastic. down from the religious area and then the scholastic area where the universities are is the commercial part of Glasgow. This area is known as a merchant city, and the buildings and architecture are grand, Gothic-like and very reflective of the wealth that was in and around Glasgow at this time. However, the wealth, like much of the Western world at that time, was made from tobacco plantations, cotton, rubber, bananas, etc. You know the script. And we know from that period it would have been about exploiting other countries and the use of cheap and slave labour. I guess we cannot change the past, but we should certainly learn from the past, take it into the future.
Get your belt back on!
Just another quick note here, Glasgow also has some of the judicial system in the merchant city, with some courts passing judgment from the inside of some very striking buildings. So I can't believe how busy it is here. It's past midnight and it's still super busy on the traffic. But as I was saying, as you head down past the merchant city and towards the River Clyde, which is the river, the main river that runs through the centre of Glasgow, if you had walked down towards that, you would have been approaching the working class area. Then you would have went through the working class area and started to walk towards the actual River Clyde, where there's some small docks, and you would have most likely have bumped into some of the more unsavoury characters that would have been seen in not just Glasgow but all the other cities in the Western Hemisphere at that time. In fact, as I said at the start of this video, these characters are still very much there in Glasgow to this day, and although they might dress better, they might be less obvious, trust me, they are still there, hanging around the dodgy riverside, not just in Glasgow but many cities in the UK and beyond. As always, it's not advisable to walk around the river city areas unless, of course, you're in Beijing, where it's safe. In fact, the infamous Glasgow Gorbals is one of the new up and coming areas of the city, Glasgow City, where people are moving to, is being gentrified, as they say. Anyway, I'm going to walk a little bit more. I've got a bit of journey to get back home. Also tire myself out, get some sleep, kill this jet lag, get back into the swing of things. I've missed you. Anyway, as always, take care. Peace out. Catch you soon.